welcome. My name is Renee Ngamau, and this is Focus with Renee on Capital TV. As always, I've got a fabulous guest for you. So this one, take out your pens and papers, because you're going to need to take some notes. I've got Samke in studio. Welcome.
Hello. So nice to be here with you. Thank you so much, Renee.
Oh, well, let's get this going. Samke, say your last name.
Mhlongo.
Okay, say it again.
Mhlongo.
No, that's never going to happen. That's. I'm going to say it once so that we can record it, and then that's it.
Samke
Mhlongo.
There you go.
There, that's it. We're done. I hope you recorded it because that's it. That's the last time I'm going to say it. But first of all, welcome to studio.
Thank you so much.
We've dragged you right the way from the airport directly through crazy Nairobi traffic and brought you in studio because your story is so incredible. I thought I would not want to miss the opportunity to have this conversation with you. So straight away, Samke, your career is in banking. But you're a specific kind of banker. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so I spent 7 years as a private banker with one of South Africa's top private banks, looking after high income and high net worth individuals. So their day-to-day banking needs, forex needs, investment needs, credit needs, etc. But what I do now is different in that I've left banking and I'm now a wealth coach. So I help teach people the principles that we as private bankers would share with our clients. And an incident in my personal life said to me that this expertise needs to be shared far and wide, which is why, even coming here and sharing this information is very important to me.
I love what you've said, an incident in my life, which we all, I guess, have incidents in your life. But it takes a quite something to shake you from your comfort zone and move you to the place where, I guess, you need to be. What was your incident?
So my incident was a 2-year divorce from my varsity sweetheart. And, it had all the bells and whistles of a very messy divorce. And I think what shook me the most is that when you've met someone and you've built with someone, you think that you have a certain entitlement to what you've built. And the reality check for me was that even though I'd been with this person for 10 years, when it came to the divorce and to splitting of assets, I left with a fraction of what was due to me simply because I was none the wiser. And I guess I wanted to share that message with other people to say, do you know what you would be entitled to? Should anything happen in terms of an upset in your current relationship status or life as you know it? Because I found myself in very desperate times, and it wasn't pleasant at all.
So paint a picture of what it was like before it came apart. Came apart. Your marriage. You had met in university, you said.
Yes, we'd met in varsity. Met someone where we were both very ambitious, both studying the same degree, and he went on to make a whole lot of money. And I fell pregnant in varsity. We decided to keep baby, get married, do things right. And so because he started working before I did, he sort of took the lead. By the time that I started working, he had been earning. He'd set the pace or the tempo almost of the household, and so my career had to sort of be accommodating of the household. Of course, he was supportive when I wanted to study further. Of course, he was supportive, sort of during the early stages of my career. But I found that when I really wanted to leapfrog, then it became difficult because I was now a wife and I had wifely duties to perform. And therefore, there was an opportunity cost in terms of I could be working, earning X, but because he is working or making X, I don't need to do that. He went on to become self-employed, made a lot of money. Let's just say, at 26, I was staying in a Gulf estate, driving a sports car, traveling overseas twice a year. It was fabulous on the outside, but on the inside, it had changed. It was quite different, and I felt that I didn't have the power that I used to have, the voice that I used to have. It was being dimmed over the years, and I was almost just being a trophy, just take care of the groceries, take care of the domestic worker, and, wait until you go on your next trip. What more could you want? And that wasn't the case. So that's what it was like before.
But a lot of people will argue that is your role. You chose to get pregnant. You chose not to pursue your career. Or for those people who choose to stay at home, they chose to stay at home. You chose to be supportive. So you should be entitled to the revenue that is related to your choices, quote unquote.
Correct. But think about it this way. Let's use classical definition of an asset, okay? Accounting speak. An asset is a resource that you own or control and where the economic benefits will flow to you in future, right? Now, when you make that decision to stay at home for the good of the household, you are doing that to build this asset from which you think, right, you will have economic benefit and from which you think you have some level of control. My divorce showed me that I had none of the above.
None of the results,
the economic benefit
yes.
or control.
In whose name were the assets?
Both.
In both your names?
Yes.
So this wasn't the classical case of sort of having land or assets in his name and therefore you are not part of it?
No, we were married in community of property, but over time, my ex, would say, let's buy the house in the name of a company because I'm working from home. I can have a rent deduction, which makes sense. It's more tax efficient. And then the shareholder of the company will be our family trust. But we had 3 trustees, which was myself, him, and a lawyer he had appointed. It took their 2 signatures to kick me off. Or make decisions without me, 2 of 3. So there were a lot of things that were happening as more money was being made and more assets were being accumulated. The structures became more complicated because what community of property says in South African law anyway is how much are you worth in your personal capacity. And over time, he was then putting assets in different structures that I did not have access to. So as women, when we get married, when we're in relationships, we tend to make decisions very emotionally in terms of what's good for the household. Society has taught us that making decisions that put us first is selfish.
Yes.
And men are raised to be providers and to be fighters. We are raised to look for someone to provide for us and fight for us.
And also to think communally.
Yes.
To think us, to think
Yes.
we, to think the good of the family.
Yes.
Whereas they don't necessarily think we.
They don't think we. They think me and everything that follows behind me or everything that I have been charged to look after. So the minute I took myself out of that equation, you can see how he would think you have now been kicked out of this
The we.
pot
Yes.
that I've created
Yes.
for everyone that buys into my home and my structure. So, at the time it was very difficult for me and I thought, he hates me. How can he hate me so much? I'm so angry. But as more time has passed, I've realized how he has been socialized and how it would make sense for him to say, if you are deciding to leave this house, then you are leaving the benefits that have accrued to this house that I have earned. I also didn't show him that the opportunity cost of me maybe slowing down in my career or deciding to be more flexible so that you can make more money, how that equates into additional revenue to the home. And those are conversations we're not having.
Wow. So you then come to this place where your relationship is irretrievably broken down. It's irreconcilable difference. And all of those ears. What happens next?
I think what happens next is I was punished, so to speak, for upsetting this equilibrium. And remember, this equilibrium worked for him. He was living his life. He was meeting his ambitions. He was having other love interests. So there was no need for him to change the status quo because he was comfortable. But again, society teaches men to say, you must do what's right for you and you know what's best for others. Okay?
Yes.
So it's noble. It's noble in its intentions. For a long time I was fighting it, but I can see how it's noble in its intentions. However, the execution sometimes isn't so noble. Because, where there's too much power, there tends to be
an abuse thereof.
Thank you. Now, I've lost my train of thought.
So
what happens next? I'm punished for upsetting this equilibrium, and I'm basically told you're going to leave as you are. If you want to leave this marriage, you're going to get out of my house. If you want to leave this marriage, you're going to leave my car. To the point where I was told to leave my wedding ring. And I think it extended where those things hurt, but they didn't hurt as much as when he was now trying to fight me full custody of my children. So when we split, we shared custody. It was 2 weeks. But then a year later, he decides, actually, I'm an unfit mother because I'm spending too much time in class doing my MBA. I'm spending too much time in studio, in media, where I was doing financial commentary to grow my profile so that I could have, income, additional income.
And grow your career. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. So, the fact that not only did I have my materials taken from me, but the fact that he wanted to take my children said to me, I am being punished for leaving. And I think that is something we need to be quite aware of, because where you have a voice or an opinion that differs to what the status quo is, are you prepared for the repercussions thereof?